salute too. We're gonna do the flag salute. Okay, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, good. Page 163. And hi, Oliver, and hi, Audrey. And look, it's just Serena today. She's not happy.
How could you guys?
I know. But we're just gonna have a party here without you. That's what we decided to do. So
Christy brought brownies.
yes, brownies and chocolate melt and cupcakes. I can't lie, okay? I can't lie. In my head, okay? I bet Oliver's like, what?
It's okay.
It's okay. You can relax, Oliver, because I don't. There are no brownies or cupcakes. Yeah, there's nothing.
Chocolate milk.
I did. I don't know why. I was just, well, milk is good with brownies, right?
Yeah.
I like milk with brownies, but
Milk is
cookies.
good.
Okay. 163, we're talking about the unclear pronoun. So just when you thought you knew everything about pronouns, there's unclear pronouns also. So it just says, week 2, you learned that a pronoun replaces a noun in order to avoid repetition. An antecedent is the word that the pronoun refers to. The pronoun should clearly refer back to its antecedent. If the pronoun is unclear, use the person's name. So that's the rule. So if you're talking about two people and they both happen to be males, and then you use the word he, it might be unclear which he it's referring back to. So then you would just resort to their name again. So that example right here says, Baloo asked Mowgli if he wanted to swim. So that actually is pretty clear.
Well, yeah, because he can't be referring to himself.
Yeah, right. He follows the pronoun Mowgli. It's clear that he is referring to Mowgli. That is a clear pronoun. Baloo taught Mowgli how to climb trees and gather honey. He loved to eat it raw. So you can assume that they're talking about Mowgli, but it says even though he follows the pronoun or the noun Mowgli, it is unclear whether he refers to Baloo or Mowgli.
Well, it could be Mowgli, but it could also be Baloo. You don't know which one.
This is an unclear pronoun. So in that case, and we're just reading this right on page 163, Baloo taught Mowgli how to climb trees and gather honey. Mowgli loved to eat it raw. So just to make sure it's clear, you would just use their name. That's really it. So you're just going to fix it by drawing a line through the pronoun, just like the example at the bottom. Afraid of Mowgli, Shere Khan fled into the jungle. He saved Akela.
Right.
So in that case, so you would cross out the pronoun and put in the name. That's it. That's easy enough.
For Audrey's sake, let's do number 2.
Okay. For Audrey's sake. Okay. Day 2. Is that the hardest one? Did you check them all? No. Did she likes to look at all of them and go, which one's the hardest one?
Okay, day 3.
Day 3 is the longest one. Should we do that one?
Day 2.
Okay. Well, you get to choose because you're here by yourself.
I'm the only person here.
Yes, you are.
It's your guys' fault for not being here.
We're doing day 2.
Okay.
Page 166. Okay, go ahead and read it.
Vocabulary. Oh, yeah.
Oh, go ahead and read it first.
As Mowgli struck right and left with the flaming branch sparks sting the bull's fur and they flee howling and wailing.
Yes. It's awkward without all the right things in there. Struck.
Like what?
Attacked with a weapon. A weapon. It just means to be attacked.
I've gotten to you.
Yeah, you did. Thanks a lot. Okay, coordinating conjunctions. Those are pretty easy. There's 3 of them.
Fix it.
Oh yeah, okay, fix it.
One capital, obviously. Yes. As. Commas.
They don't tell you how many on the commas anymore. So
Can we do the other one before?
Yes.
Okay, one end mark.
One end mark, that's easy.
Yeah.
Apostrophes, that might be easy, right?
Sparks. And
take it out.
Yeah, take out sparks. And wolves.
So where does the apostrophe go on
After
that?
S.
After S, because more than one. Good. Yes, good. Usage.
Stung.
Good. Change sting to stung because it all should be past tense.
Fled.
And flee to fled. Yes, good.
Okay, commas.
Those might be easier after you find all the other stuff if you want to wait on that.
Okay.
Okay, what's next? You tell me, Serena.
And
Okay, coordinating conjunctions and
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 and.
and.
You
Oh,
see?
oops, I wrote 3 C's. I was supposed to do that. It's so quiet in here. I don't like it.
I know, it feels weird, huh?
Blah blah blah. Anyways,
Well,
prepositional phrase
you've had a day, so maybe it's good that it's quiet.
Yes,
It's
that is
peaceful.
true.
It's peaceful.
with the flame
With the
flaming branch.
flaming branch. Good. That's the prepositional phrase.
Okay.
All right, now all the clauses, whichever ones you think are, well, it seems like adverb clause is easiest to find, right?
Struck. No.
As
Aha.
to what?
Struck.
As Mowgli struck.
Left, right, and left.
Okay, but it does keep going all the way to branch,
With the-
actually.
oh.
Yeah. Because if we left that out, this is why, because sometimes I get stuck on that too. If we stopped at left, then with the flaming branch doesn't belong to any clauses. It's like
Oh.
by itself.
I guess that does. Okay. no.
Yeah, okay.
Main
Unless it's an
clause.
opener. Sometimes those are openers outside of the clause. Okay.
There's 2 main clauses.
2 main clauses. This is a tricky one.
So they flee howling and wailing. Fled, I mean.
So because those are participles, howling and wailing, it's not actually going to be.
Why is it so hard?
I know this is a hard one.
I'm
So
like questioning my judgment.
what is the first main clause that you said?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I said they to wailing, but that was
They to fled is
Oh.
actually they fled is a main clause. And the reason is because it has a subject verb pair. It is a complete thought. But howling and wailing, because they're participles,
right.
they're not
Okay.
included in the
Wow.
main clause. So then what's the other main clause?
Stung to fur.
Well, sparks.
Spark stung. Oh.
That's the subject, right?
Oh,
Sparks, stung.
okay.
And if that helps you, you can always find the subject verb part before the clauses. That might help next time.
Okay.
If you get stuck on those.
Mowgli struck.
Mowgli struck.
Sparks stung.
Yes.
They fled.
Yes. There you go. Good.
That's it.
Okay. And the opener.
5. Clausal.
Yep. Did we do the commas? No, we didn't.
We did
Okay.
not. After branch.
Yes.
After fled.
Yes.
Is that it?
No, there's one more. I'm trying to figure out why. I'm trying to remember
This is so
why.
hard.
Oh, okay. I know why. It's after fur too, because it's 2 main clauses in a row. So remember when we did MC, comma, CC, MC?
That's confusing.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
That was that one page that we had to decide like which one went with which of the rules. So the 3 commas are after branch, after fur, and after fled. Since Serena's here all by herself, I'm going to let her write down
Thank
the
you.
sentences. You're welcome.
Because I will not have time to remember this anyways. I'm like 4 or 5 weeks behind on my grammar. I get like 1 or 2 in between, but
as long as, I mean, check with your mom on that, but
she said it's fine.
okay, good. But this paper you don't want to get too far behind on because then that'll be a big headache.
No,
So
I'm not.
stay up with the paper.
So far I am.
Okay,
Because
good.
we've only done 1 week.
Yeah. It's research so far.
Ow, it popped my back. So weird.
I
I'm
know.
all alone.
I know. It is weird. We don't have Oliver's sarcasm and Audrey's perfection.
Yes, Audrey's perfection. All you have is me and my personality.
We'll just leave it at that. You and your personality.
Yes. Okay, I'm done.
Which is a good thing. All right. So the first step in this process, so you have 3 choices you wrote down here, and I think I saw Audrey's, but I didn't see Oliver's yet, so Oliver still needs to do your research on that. I know you did.
Sorry.
That's okay. I know you didn't get to really read a lot of the articles yet. You just found them, right? That's okay. That's all right, because that's all you were supposed to do. So what I want you to do is think about the 3 choices you have and pick your favorite of the 3, because the goal is for all 3 of you guys to write about different cases. Okay. So they could be the same amendments, but I want you to pick, all 3 of you pick different cases. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So since you're here by yourself, you get first pick. There you go. So you had, yeah, go ahead and go
can't
to,
read it anymore because
yeah,
yes,
need me to
I
return it?
no, you
Okay.
return. Amendment 15 was my first choice.
Okay.
South Carolina v. Katzenbach.
Sounds German.
Yeah, I think it's. And then Amendment 19, Lesser v. Garnett. Then Amendment 26, Oregon v. Mitchell.
Okay, so Amendment 15 is about race and color. So prohibits denying the right to vote based on race, color, or previous condition of servitude.
Yeah. I think
And
it
then
also includes
19 is the one about the women's right to vote.
Yes. And then 26 is voting age at 18.
So which of those was the most interesting to you?
18.
Okay. Women's right to vote. Okay, cool. And that must be the case that they used to build that law, that women have the right to vote. I don't know that case, Lesser v. Garnett.
Let me look it up.
Yeah. And hopefully
my search history.
Oh, good. Yeah, they all should be there.
Yeah. It's about okay, I'm not sure if this is before, this is 1922. So I think this is while they were deciding it.
Okay.
And it's about 2 women in Maryland.
Okay.
And they wanted to vote. And let me skip down to the summary.
See if you can find the year too.
1922. I will occupy.
This sticker you have here, taco, cat, goat, cheese, pizza. Is that a game?
Yes, it is a game.
A card game, huh?
Yeah, it's really fun. You get slapped a lot though. It's because you like put your hand on top and somebody could.
Oh yeah. I saw somebody, I think it was in our family playing that at Easter time. I was like,
Yeah,
what are you guys playing?
Really fun.
That's cool. Okay.
So, oh my gosh, I'm gonna find a different website.
Okay.
I'm using Justia right now, and it's very informative, shall I say. Here, I found an article from Time.
Okay.
That I used for one of my sources. Okay. So, so this was 2 years after the 19th Amendment was passed and ratified, but it wasn't fully secured until 1922. Lesser v. Garnett.
Okay.
So 2 Maryland women registered to vote a few months after the 19th Amendment passed. Oscar Lesser, a judge, sued to have their names removed from the voting rolls. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Like, what's wrong with you? It's
a judge?
Yeah.
That's
like,
shocking.
It was the 20th century. It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
But still.
Yeah.
On the grounds that Maryland Constitution said only men could vote, and that Maryland had not ratified the new amendment.
Okay.
Because it was only a few months after.
Okay.
And Lesser argued that the new amendment wasn't even part of the Constitution at all. For one thing, he said, something that adds so many people to the electorate would have to be approved by the state, plus some of the state legislators that had ratified the amendment didn't have the right to do so or had done so incorrectly. The Supreme Court found that both arguments flopped. When suffrage had been granted to all male citizens regardless of race, the amendment had held up, despite the change to the electorate, and the ratification powers, lesser questioned, had in fact been granted by the Constitution. And in a few states where things were iffy, it didn't matter because other states had been ratified. So while the 19th Amendment granted women the right to vote, lesser made sure that that right could actually be used, even where the state constitution said otherwise. It's not one of the more famous Supreme Court decisions in American history, but without the electorate, it would be, well, lesser.
Ah, play on words. I
know.
get it.
That's the end of
That's okay. So that's interesting because that is a debate right now, not necessarily about voting, but with our new president, President Trump, he's writing executive orders like for on a national level, but the states are claiming, like especially California, because California has Newsom, as you know, right?
Right.
And Newsom and Trump do not get along. I mean, there's other ways to say that, but we'll just keep it at that. But they're totally opposite. So Newsom is trying to make law in California that conflicts with what the president is saying is law. And so it always comes back to the Constitution. That's where it is the supreme law of the land.
The Constitution states that federal law overrides state law.
Yeah, but still the states, especially Newsom, tries to convince everybody that state has, supersedes the federal law, which isn't true. So don't always believe everything you hear
It does state
on the news.
Well, you can't believe anything you hear.
Pretty much. I agree with that
I'm
statement.
sure you could at some point, but
not much.
21st century now.
So that's Amendment 19, and then that's the actual case. So I think that'll be a good one. It looks like you found 4 articles about it.
Did you print mine?
I did. Yes, I did.
I made it smaller so it could squeeze.
Oh, that's perfect. I just had one on the back, but
I know, I was really annoyed by that.
Because it doesn't let you change the margins. There's a way, but it's like really.
Wow. It's okay.
I had to look it up, but okay. So open up a new doc, like either Word or you can use a Google Doc, whatever doc you like to use.
I can't use Word.
Okay, Google Doc.
Okay, I have a new.
So these are going to be notes. I did this in my other class and you're going to use the same notes here. Just ignore this website. So you're just going to put your name and date on the upper left.
Let me change the font.
Yeah, you can change that. This isn't part of your paper. These are just notes. I just figured since you had your laptop, we could take notes on the laptop.
That would be great because I write a lot slower than I
Yeah. So the title of the notes is research paper notes, and then this paper is going to ultimately be 6 paragraphs long.
Dang it.
Yeah. But the good news is we're not going to be using the big white paper. We just don't have enough time to do all that. It's too much. We don't have enough time to do that. So we're going to do kind of a condensed version of that.
Okay.
So here are the 6 Roman numerals to represent what you're going to write about in each paragraph. So obviously Roman number 1.
How do you make Roman numerals?
It's just a capital I, but it might not have the top and bottom lines. Oh, good. Okay, cool. And then that's the introduction, which is.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's going to include the thesis statement. And we're going to talk about that later. But basically, that is a statement that's going to be the whole foundation of your whole paper. So it's a statement that's going to take a little bit to draft, which we will work on that at the end. It's easier to write the statement after you've finished the bulk of the research in the middle. Roman numeral 2, it just is going to say amendment. You're going to use that whole paragraph to write about the amendment only and the definition and origin of that amendment. So for 19, that was after the Bill of Rights. We'll talk about that one more in just a second. You're done typing that.
Grammarly's yelling at me because it's missing words.
Oh yeah, they're not complete sentences. So this is Roman number. Are you on 3?
I'm on 6.
Oh. You're just multitasking. That's right. As long as you can listen to me at the same time.
I am.
So after that, these are going to be the body paragraphs right here. Obviously, they're the ones in the middle. Usually we have 3, but this time we're going to have 4. So these are the body paragraphs. The first body paragraph is just introducing the amendment. The next one is one side of the case. Do you know what plaintiff and defendant means in a case?
I do not.
Okay, so usually in a court case, it doesn't matter what level of court, because by the way, there's local court, which would be like Kern County, and then there's state court, which would be
which
at
is
state.
California, and
California.
federal court.
This is the Supreme Court,
which
yes.
is the US.
So the all courts, but especially the Supreme Court, there are two sides, plaintiff and a defendant. So the way to remember this is the plaintiff is the one suing somebody else. Okay, so they're the ones that bring the case to the judge or whatever. They're bringing it to the front. And they're the ones that are suing the defendant. The way to remember it in my mind is if you think of defense, if you're thinking football, I like football. So the offense has the ball and the defense is defending their goal, right? So that you don't score.
Defense is like to defend yourself.
To defend yourself. So that's what the defendant does. They're defending themselves. So this is the one suing. This is the one being sued.
So in Lesser v. Garnett,
Mhm.
I think it was, yes, it was one of the judges that sued the women, well, that tried to sue, he didn't try to sue them for money. He tried to sue to have their names removed from the voting rolls. And so
Crazy.
they were the defendants who were
Well,
trying to defend themselves.
Actually, in the case title, you have Lesser v. Garnett. So those are two last names.
Yes.
So one, and usually they list the plaintiff first.
Well, plaintiff was Lesser because
Okay,
he was trying to sue them off the voting rolls.
So Garnett is probably one of the women,
Yeah.
but it's probably going to affect more than one woman because it sounds like it was a group of women.
It was two, I think.
Okay, so
yes, two Maryland women.
And were they sisters? I wonder if they had the same last name or something. I wonder who Garnett is. See if you can figure that one out. That should be the defendant. So the V, stands for versus. And
Yes.
if anybody's, and I know Oliver can relate to, a game situation when you're versing someone, it's basically, you're battling. Okay, so those are the two that battle each other in the case.
It's not easy to find this kind of.
Okay.
At this point, I don't need. How can I search strategically so that I can find what I want?
Well, the quickest and easiest way, but don't do it, is Chat GPT. So I don't know if you used that before or if your mom allows you or your dad allows you to use that. But for class, we're not going to use it here just because it's controversial. But you can go to Google and just I would type in who is Garnett in Lesser v. Garnett or Garnet. I wonder if it's Garnet.
This gives me a Wikipedia article.
That's the only one it gives you? Oh, there's Justia.
That's what I was looking at before.
It didn't show it in there? Okay, scroll up to the top again. Oh, those are your articles, huh?
This one's one of my articles. I don't use Wikipedia.
Yeah.
This one was another one. And
they're all going to be, it looks like they're all like a summary of the case. So.
Oh, and then it was another one that was like.
Go to Oyez, see if that one will tell you a little more.
I looked, it doesn't have.
No? It should be on your list.
There's no Oyez.
Oh.
Oops.
Well, you had it on your list here.
Not for 19.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Oh.
Go to that Civics for Life one, see if it's in there. Because on one of them, it should explain who is who. As far as the. Who's in the case. Oh,
Two women. Law. blah, 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 opposition to
What does it say under that?
Elizabeth. This was in 1890.
I wonder what Garnet is, or Garnet, whatever it is. Okay, here, no?
One
No.
such opponent was Oscar Lesser. Oh, he wasn't a judge. Was he a judge? Oh, well, he was in Maryland, but his occupation was a judge.
Oh, but not the judge of the case, obviously.
No, he was just like a small state judge or something.
Scroll back up to that background. I bet it's in there. It's gotta be in there.
For decades, women across the United States fought tirelessly for the right to vote. Leaders like Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and Alice Paul dedicated their lives to protest, lawmakers,
It's not in there.
blah blah. Oscar Lesser argued. Ah, what the heck? Why is it Garnet?
Huh.
Maybe that was like her husband.
Against the state's election board. Maybe open a new tab and ask Google, why is yeah, try that. Well, click on Wikipedia. I know it's not reliable, but it may give us some, at least that information. Wait, go back, actually.
It wants additional citations for verification. That all be Garnet.
It's pretty clear how it's spelled out.
Can I use chat?
I don't want to introduce you to that if your parents don't want you to use it, so no.
They use it. They said it's fine
Well,
if I use it.
But I'm thinking, open up another tab and put what is Garnet? What is Garnet? Yeah.
It's
just
a
see
type of rock,
what-
but it's spelled wrong.
Yeah, so that's not it.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, type in who is Garnet in Lesser v. Garnet.
Searched it up before. Maybe if I go to images.
You will be doing a PowerPoint at the end, so it might be good to have some of those images later.
That's cool. This is a lot.
Yeah. Let's see, let me go.
Oh, I love Google Slides and PowerPoint and whatever. I like making stuff. It's kind
Yeah.
of fun.
It's like already kind of create your own design. That is weird. So I would have thought it was a last name.
I know.
me
Maybe
see.
it wasn't. Maybe the guy that defended them was Garnet. That would be odd.
Yeah.
Did
Who
they hire a
is?
lawyer named Garnet because there was two of them?
And they're not spelling it right. It's with one T, so I don't think that's right. And it is two T's, right?
Yes, two. Are you looking it up on Google?
Yeah. I just thought maybe I would try to.
Yeah, maybe you'd have different search results because you haven't already
Searches.
looked it up. I like really can.
So the lawyer is Oscar Lesser. Is that what you discovered?
No, Oscar Lesser is the plaintiff. He tried to sue
In the
them and
case,
lost
a
their
prominent Baltimore lawyer, so he's a lawyer, but not the lawyer for the case. He is a lawyer, it looks like, from
mind. Somebody said
history.com.
he was a judge. Is he a judge or a lawyer? Who is stop. My computer's like not cooperating.
Oh wait, no. In the case, a prominent Baltimore lawyer named Oscar Lesser sued to strike all women from Maryland's voting rolls on the grounds that the 19th Amendment infringed on state sovereignty, just like you read earlier. There's some good graphics you can use for your PowerPoint. Did you find it?
Oscar Lesser tried to run for the United States Senate in Maryland, but he lost.
Oh, so he's got anger
beat.
issues.
Well, because he lost to Millard Tidings. Oscar Lesser was a Republican, and he lost to Millard Tidings from the Democratic Party. And Millard Tidings got 68% of the vote, and
Ooh.
Oscar only got 29.
Ouch. He
I
lost
know.
big time. So he's
No wonder he has such anger issues.
That's what I was thinking too.
He was being way too harsh on it, though. Like, come on.
Right. And he didn't win that one either, so now he's doubly angry.
I
Right?
think he's still alive. I think if he ran for the state selection or the state election in 1938, he's probably not alive anymore. He must have been at least like 30.
Okay, so it's probably going to take a little bit to actually, oh, here's the actual document. This is the actual case.
Be a pain.
Yeah, it's really hard to read.
You sure I can't use chat?
I'm sure, because I don't really like chat. There's some great things. Okay, so here's how.
Chat doesn't always have reliable.
It does not. No, it does not. It does not have reliable, because what it's doing is gathering
all the
information, but some of the information it's gathering isn't correct. So you can't assume. Thank you. You got it.
It'd be scarier if he was always correct, though.
I know. And probably the more people use it, it will get more and more correct, but there's
they'll have more funding.
Yeah.
Because
but
people are paying.
If your parents, when you get home, not here,
logged on,
then you can use chat for somebody in my other class. I don't know if you know who Ellie is. I don't think you know. Do you know?
In the last class.
Oh yeah, last time. She used it for asking Chat GPT for a list of websites about this case. And so it can actually do that part of the search for you, but that's basically Google.
It helped me with my English homework last week because I needed to find a song that relates to the book I was reading.
Oh, okay.
And it helped because it like matches lyrics to things.
Oh, did your teacher let you do Chat GPT, or does she know?
I think she used AI to look for lyrics because she said that she hadn't heard of the song she used in the example. So, you know.
Okay. Well, be careful with Chat GPT.
Well, I didn't copy directly from it. I just was looking for song lyrics from songs I already knew. That's okay. It's fine. It's a song that's different than is telling Chat GPT to write my research paper on Supreme Court case Lesser versus Garnett. No, so you can't do that. Write my 6-paragraph research paper on Lesser v. Garnett with the 19th Amendment. I will know if you guys are doing that, so don't be tempted. All right, so you'll have to figure out during your research who Garnett is and check with your parents. They might have other ideas on how to use the research. I don't like to use Chat GPT for research. Right. But well, Google isn't helping me right now. I've opened like 5 different tabs. It's all right. So, okay, so your focus this week is going to be on just one paragraph. Lucky you. So you can open up a new Another one. I know. See, this is why I have a million tabs on mine. I'm always opening new tabs. Open a new tab, open a new doc. A new Google Doc. And this one, you're just going to focus on Roman numeral 2. And to search the amendment, this was one of the websites that I found helpful right here. So you can open up another tab and go to constitution.congress.gov. Congress. And then in the search bar there,
19th Amendment, put in the search bar. And it should give you a summary. And you might need more than one source for this paragraph, but see how much you can find on that.
Are we doing them?
So this paragraph is the one you're focusing on this week. So you're gonna actually define the amendment. So you open up a new tab with a Google Doc.
I said 19th, but I have to spell it out.
Oh,
Might be that way, Congress.
you already typed this, huh? I'm gonna erase this.
Yeah, I typed it.
Okay.
If they need to write it down or type it, they can just pause the
It's,
video.
yeah.
19th century, 14th, blah, blah, blah.
So for yours, we're gonna do just 6 and 7. This is gonna be for Roman
Aha.
numeral 2.
There's one article called The Scope of the 19th Amendment.
Okay. Look at that one.
This is like the ugliest website ever. So hard to read.
Oh, a lot of the, yeah, that looks right. A lot of the legal stuff is like, if
Well,
you
they
click
make-
on their actual document, the
Well, they
legal
make
document.
they make the font so small you have to like use a magnifying glass to read it.
And some of them have all these words and letters that don't even make sense. It's like, what are they even talking about? But that's all the legal jargon in it. So, but go ahead and start a new Google Doc, and you're going to work on your keyword outline for your amendment. So the first thing you'll put is amendment 19. And then I would
I'm not even
add
gonna put my name because obviously it's
Yeah.
mine.
2 words that would, if you had to sum up, 19 says women's right to vote, grants women's right to vote. We could do grants. And since you're on the computer, you can't draw a symbol or anything, but, or a stick figure, W vote or something like that. That can be your first.
Why is it two? Oh. I can put emojis on my
Oh, you could put a little girl stick figure then if you want, or just W vote, whatever's easier.
insert emoji.
This is going to be part of your homework, but you guys are picking a different case. If either one of you still want to write something that, a case that goes with Amendment 19, that's okay, but pick a different case than
Not an emoji.
Lesser v. Garnett,
It's
because
just
that's
the women's
Serena's.
bathroom size.
Oh. All right, and then for the next part here, look to see when the amendment was written. Or look on that page that gives a summary of the amendment itself. I'm gonna pause this recording for a minute because I'm gonna do some research here. But basically what you guys are working on is using that constitution.congress.gov website and looking up the amendment that you're writing about. And you can look at other websites too, but get some information on the actual amendment itself. And I'm gonna pause this. Okay, so what we have been doing is looking at National Archives website, which is archives.gov. And then they have a search bar there, and you can search for your amendment on there. And there should be a summary of it. We found a really good one for Amendment 19. And what you're going to do is use this website. So you're going to save this, bookmark it, or cut and paste it somewhere, because you'll need to use it for your bibliography when we get to that point at the very, very end. But use this website to come up with your first paragraph about the amendment. So like for the 19th Amendment, it talked about how it was a lengthy struggle. I'm reading it as I'm looking at the computer here. So it took decades of agitation and protest. That's what I would put. You can put this if you want, Serena, or if you want
Okay.
something else.
I would.
And protest. This will help you save time on your homework. And it talks about It began in the mid-19th century. Began mid-19th century.
Lily's yelling at me. I'm just gonna turn it off. Beep. Ha ha ha.
Suffrage.
Oops. Stop.
Just want to make sure I'm defining that right.
Began mid-19th century.
Suffrage actually means the right to vote in political
It
elections.
does. I looked it up. I thought it meant
Mhm.
like to suffer, but
Yeah, because it has that, it's a prefix in there. Okay. Suffrage, so decades, it says generations of women suffrage supporters lectured, they wrote, they marched, they lobbied, they practiced civil disobedience to achieve what many Americans consider a radical change of the Constitution. Civil disobedience, do you know what that means?
defying the law
Well, we know what disobedience means when we don't
to
obey,
be bad.
right? When you don't obey a law or something, but when you feel like the law is infringing on your rights as a human, then civil disobedience is taking a stand against it, but it's not considered bad because you're standing up for your own human rights. So,
Right. So
yeah, like for
controversial.
instance, COVID, that's a good example. A lot of people didn't feel it was right to have to wear a mask because they didn't have enough evidence that the mask really worked for people. So some people
it
did
sure helped a lot.
they exercised civil disobedience by not wearing a mask because for them, breathing their own air was harmful to them. Maybe they had asthma or maybe they had breathing issues, and so putting a mask on was harmful to them.
But
And so,
got like a breathing
Mhm.
tube, then it's gonna
yeah,
be hard.
it was hard on a lot of people. My daughter has asthma and she had a really hard time with a mask. Like,
No, I just don't like the feeling of the mask because you breathe into it and then you suck back in your breath.
and it just like sticks to your mouth, right?
And
So you're
it's-
like terrible.
Like, you know that thing where you, if you've got an empty glass, you can,
Yes.
and it sticks to your face.
Yes, the same thing. You feel like you're suffocating. But I mean, they're saying now that some of the masks didn't work, like the paper ones or like the cloth
Well, do
ones.
you remember the little mesh masks that some
Yes.
people used to wear?
Yeah,
Well, those don't work. You
those
can
don't
do
work. Obviously, they have holes in them and stuff. So, the law said to wear a mask, but it didn't say like what kind of mask. So there's all these loopholes. But for these, back in this day when the women were fighting for the rights to vote, they felt like it because they're human, like just like men, we're all human. Why can't we have the right just like a man does? So that's civil disobedience, basically, because they know as a human they have rights too. Okay, so if you want to mention, I think that might be interesting to mention practiced civil disobedience.
Women,
Mhm.
comma, practiced, comma. I'm just gonna write
Civil and then
CVL.
Oh, okay. That'll work.
Because I'll know what civil stands for, but I
Mhm.
won't know what
Okay.
diso means.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What other word can we put here? That's what I was trying to figure out after 19th century.
I said suffrage.
Oh, okay. Okay, petition
And
right
then
to vote,
fourth.
but it took decades to accomplish their purpose. Between 1878, when the amendment was first introduced to Congress, and August 18th, 1920,
Jeez.
when it was ratified. So ratified just means that the state
It
agreed.
took like 30 years. Gosh.
Signed in is what ratified really means. Champions of voting rights for women worked tirelessly, but strategies for achieving their goal varied. Some pursued a strategy of passing suffrage acts in each state. So it sounds like the states were trying to
Rebel against federal.
they were trying to actually make it legal for women to vote, but it had to
Not
come from
Maryland.
federal. Yeah, except for Maryland. And probably California too. They probably were one of the last. No, they would have, California probably would have been one of the first to approve of that, women having right to vote.
Interesting.
Let's see. By 1960, almost all of the major suffrage organizations were united
Women
behind the goal. So that might be the next one in 1960 or 1916, sorry.
I'm just gonna count that as one word.
Okay. It says, let me tell you what it says, and you can figure out how to put it on your outline. But by 1916, almost all of the major suffrage organizations were united behind the goal of a constitutional amendment. So they all agreed.
What's the sign for major? Like major, minor?
Oh,
Is it just MJ?
yeah.
Major, what was it?
Suffrage organizations. You could probably put suffrage and then put org.
Yeah. Major suffrage orgs united.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. We're gonna count that as 3 words.
Okay.
It's more like 7, but technically it's only 3.
There you go. Yeah, that works. That totally works.
2 of them are abbreviations.
Yeah, that works. This is also interesting. I'll just read it and you decide if you want to use it. When New York adopted women's suffrage in New York, this is New York, in 1917, and President Wilson changed his position to support an amendment in 1918, the political balance began to shift. So it sounds like that was important. So
New NY.
they adopted women's suffrage in 1917.
New York.
You might use 2 lines for it if you need to.
New York pro women's suffrage.
Well, they actually adopted, so they allowed women to vote in New York.
So NY plus the picture of the lady and then suffrage.
You're trying to get it all in one line, huh?
Yes, I am.
That happened in 1917.
Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna use 2 lines.
I was going to say, because the second one is just as important. President Wilson at the time changed his position to support an amendment in 1918.
Wilson
Changed his position to support.
insert
Basically,
info
support
G.
writing an amendment. Are you on number 4 here? Or 5?
I'm on 6.
Oh, shoot. Okay. That's okay. If you need more than 7, that's okay, because there's some other good stuff in here.
Oh no, that's not. Aha.
That's good. Is that
President
your change?
change position.
He changed his position on the amendment idea, so the actual amendment itself that they were trying to write. Because he was against it initially, and then he changed his position on
I'm
it
just gonna write amendment.
because of New York. This is all coming from this article, so if you later you need to go back and read it.
I have like 1 more.
Okay.
If I need to make it.
Yeah. So, and that was 1918 when he changed his mind. You got that?
Okay.
That's when it said the political balance began to shift. That was
I wrote down that.
okay, good. So in okay, this is when it was passed. So you can put this actual date. It's actually, oh, okay, hold on. It says, on May 21st, 1919, the House of Representatives passed the amendment, and 2 weeks later, the Senate followed. Then Tennessee became the 36th state to ratify the amendment. On August 18th, 1920, the amendment passed its final hurdle of obtaining the agreement of 3/4 of the states. Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Tennessee.
Tennessee was the 36th.
Well, not all women can vote. So.
Yeah. So you'll have to, oh, is it time to go? It is almost time to go. It is actually time to go.
It's okay. I can stay for a couple.
Okay.
By the way, what happened to your hand?
Oh, I have a student that does cheer and I went to her cheer
Oh.
competition. It was a stamp, but it was like really dark. So I tried to wash it off and it's still there. Um, hmm. I think you need those 2 points. You need like when the House of Representatives passed it,
Okay. I'll
you might need an 8.
it's okay.
Okay, so that was
it's
in
7.
May 21st, 1919. The House, you could put HOR for House of Representatives or HO Rep. Can you remember if you have that?
Yeah.
HO Rep passed amendment, so you can abbreviate that one. And then it says 2 weeks later, the Senate passed. Senate
So-
followed, so I don't know how you could put that.
Plus 2 weeks.
Yeah, to WKS.
Plus 2 weeks, Senate.
Yeah.
Senate followed.
Uh-huh.
Senate followed House of Representatives.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then are you on 8?
I finished 8.
Okay, because this is also good, because this is like the grand finale on how it got passed. 9, because this is when Tennessee was the 36th state to ratify. That means they signed an agreement that this is a good
Are
thing.
we still recording?
Yeah, I started recording again. They'll probably just fast forward through all this, but
Okay.
that's
Sorry,
okay.
guys.
Well, you're here, so I'm helping you with your paper. So that's what you get for being here. So good job. I know you guys are sick, so I don't mean to
It's
make you feel
special.
bad. Yeah. But at least they can see the process of what we're going through. We're looking on this document, this
Yeah.
website,
So,
archives.
what should we do for 9?
So 9 is going to be, I think, Tennessee, TENN, I guess is how you abbreviate that.
Oh,
And
I
then
think it's TN.
TN. 36th state ratify.
Ratified. That happened in the past.
Yeah.
Ratified amendment.
And then it actually became passed to become an amendment, official amendment of the Constitution on August 18th.
Oh, should I start a new line?
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me finish reading this. Amendment passed this initial final hurdle. Secretary of State certified the ratification on August 26, 1920. If you need a new line, you can.
10.
Yeah. So it became officially the 19th Amendment on August 26, 1920. Changed America forever.
Not what now?
I don't know how you want to
The
word
date.
it. August 26, 1920.
We're good.
Yeah. So now you'll just use that for your paragraph. One thing we're going to talk about next week, that is your KWO. But go ahead and, okay, something I do want you to do though, and we're going to talk about how to do this next week because we totally ran out of time, but you're going to be required to have either a direct quote or a summary of a quote in each paragraph. So you will have to go to that document, archives.com, which you have. And okay, if you have time, I mean, it's late, but
I don't have anything.
that last paragraph has a good one, some good ideas. It says the campaign for women's suffrage was long, difficult, and sometimes dramatic, yet ratification did not ensure full. Oh, no, that's
Wait.
not a good one.
I can just copy and paste it from the thing.
Yeah, you can, because it's a quote. I'll show you how to cite it. You
No,
could use
because-
part of it, actually. You could say the campaign for women's suffrage was long, difficult, and sometimes dramatic. Just use that part as a quote. And not include it didn't ensure full enfranchisement. Don't worry about that. Do you know where I'm at?
Yes.
Okay.
see.
All the way to dramatic.
Yes.
And then since you're copying it, you got to use quotation marks. And then after this last quotation mark, don't put the period yet.
Okay.
You're
have to
gonna
click
put-
dot, dot, dot,
because there's more to it. Okay. And then after the quotation mark, put a parentheses and put, I think, let me check
should
it.
it be archives at al Arthur?
I can check it by going to a Google Doc and putting it in as a source. You know, remember how we did that before? I'll show you guys later what that means. You're going to put in parentheses 19th 19th a capital A amendment, lowercase to the U dot S, capital U dot S dot, and then capital Constitution, and then end the parentheses,
Wait, US U dot S dot.
Constitution with a capital C. Okay,
Is that it?
that's it.
We're good.
Okay.
Ha ha ha.
All right, so you guys are just going to write that paragraph, the first of your body paragraphs about the amendment and its origin. And that's it. And then hopefully you guys can make it next week and bring your laptops. Okay, bye.